Everybody, Picky Gamer here. Sorry I haven't made videos. This last weekend, I started coming down with a sinus infection. I'm still on medication for it. I had to ping Cyrus and say, hey, Game Ramblings needs to be put off for a little bit. And then around the first week, I finally got meds, and really, it kicked my ass. It took me a little bit. And Halloween came up, tried to focus on family, getting everybody out to Halloween and trick-or-treating, and then today, the wife has the flu, we think. Pretty much they called her in Tamiflu. So it's just been to the point where I just haven't had time to really do a lot. But I had a Retro Bro first ping me about this, and other people have made videos on it. And we're going to look at this. The Analogue Pocket. What is the Analogue Pocket? Well, it's a new system coming out from Analogue, which makes a lot of cool systems that they have FPGA or fully programmable gate array. Pretty much the chip can be programmed to do in reason whatever you need it to do, and it's pretty much as perfect to the original hardware as can be. Even like Super Retro Trio, which I got one back here, the clones are close, but this is like pretty much not. It's not even emulation. It takes real cartridges. I think Cyrus Martin has some of these. He's talked about them, but we're talking about the Pocket. And the Pocket is going to be able to play out of the box. Pocket's compatible with Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games. Pocket works cartridge as for others too. Game Gear, Neo Geo Pocket Color, Links, and more. I thought it was just these three, but I was right, this and more. 2 FPGAs, which is interesting. No emulation. Monster Pocket. As you see, there's 4 buttons here, 2 buttons on the back. It's interesting. It looks neat. This is something that I don't understand. The first in its class, 3.5-inch screen, 615 pixels per inch LCD with a resolution of 1600 by 1440. Why? I don't understand this. Pocket has 10 times resolution in the original Game Boy. Yeah, we can hardly believe it either. I can hardly believe it. Why the fuck do you need to have that high resolution there? It's still going to be pixels. I get it. Trust me, I've done a lot of emulation and scaling it up, trying to make it look. Whoop! Hit the table there. Sorry about that. You're trying to make it nice, but that to me is a waste. This is just a waste. I get there's advantages of it, but for that little 3.5-inch screen, just make it good enough. A little bit better than what the old screens were, but you don't have to put that much in there. I don't care. And I know somebody will say in the comments, well, this is the reason why. I still don't think it needs to be in there. I think it's a waste of money. Digital audio synthesizers, again, I think this is a waste. I don't think it needs to be in there. Designed for development. We add a second dedicated just for developers to develop port their own cores. Kind of cool. I think it adds to the cost, but with access to Analogue's proprietary hardware and scaler, we think developers are going to do some amazing things. Well, we'll see. There's no better way to do it. And one more thing, there's a dock. There's a dock coming, and sync any wireless 8-bit Bluetooth controller directly to your dock for wireless play. I think the Retro Bros is making this point. Well, what about other ones? What about, a PS3, a PS4? What about Xbox One? Why is it just 8-bit do? Interesting. Pocket is shipping in 2020 for $199, which that's a couple. That is a Switch Lite. Sign up early. There are limited quantities available, which I don't like, and I'm calling bullshit on. So you get all this stuff. Rechargeable battery, of course, all buttons, mappable stereo speakers, micro SD card, which it doesn't do emulation. It won't do emulation, so I guess this is the save stuff. I don't know. Maybe save states and things like this. USB-C charging, headphone port, and original link style plug. And the dock specs: HDMI out, 2 USB inputs for wired controllers, Bluetooth for wireless controllers, and DAC capable. Analog dock to be announced. The Pocket. So basically, for $200, you're going to get a nice, to me, overly priced thing that does Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance. And then you need to pay money for Game Gear, Neo Geo Pocket Color, Links, and more, and even more money for a dock. Let me just get down to this. I'm not bashing Analogue. They make good shit. They make real shit, unlike, like these jackasses, which never brought to light the Retro VGS and Coleco Chameleon. Analogue makes stuff. They make stuff. They make good stuff. Is it overpriced? I think it is. In some cases. Now, I know an FPGA is expensive. They're not just like, this is my old iPhone here. This chip has, whatever chip it had in it. I don't keep up with it. Hell, this is an old Motorola. Again, I have a lot of tech stuff in my graveyard laying around. This thing, it's not like the chips that you make them once, stamp them out, and kick them out of there. An FPGA is programmable to a certain extent, and they are expensive to put in your things or your devices. But is this thing worth it? I don't know. Just if for $199 you don't get much, and I'm gonna say that you get a nice looking device, these pre-renders, overly powerful LCD screen, which you don't need. FPGA in there for developers, which may or may not ever be used. I don't know if developers will take off with it. Chiptunes music. Again, I don't think it's going to be used or worth it. To me, it's a little overly priced, and still an HDMI dock, which I'm thinking they're probably going to overprice as well. And they're trying to be a Switch, and it's sold separately, and other cartridge adapters are sold separately. Seriously, you can go buy a Game Boy SP out there, $50, $60, $70, $80, $90, $100, just depending on the quality of it and what type of screen. If you want the one, I can't remember the model number, it has a really nice screen on it. Do you need this? I'm torn. I've been thinking about this for like a week or so since I've been trying to, excuse me. I am tired this week from getting over being sick. My wife's now sick. The Analogue Pocket is going to be a thing. I think it's going to come out. Is it going to be overly priced? I think so. I think it's going to be a collector's snatch up and run with, and I don't like that. I don't like it at all. Shouldn't be limited quantity. It should come with a dock. I mean, it's just a fucking dock. It's HDMI out and USBs. I mean, why? For the price, they could have, if they didn't even charge $249 and had the dock and had 2 or 3 other adapters, say Game Gear and links, more adapters, 4 or 5 extra adapters sold separately, it'd have been interesting. To me, it seems overly bloated. It's got a lot of stuff in there it doesn't need, and you could just go do something with an SP that you can find at a pawn shop. I don't know. I'm really torn with this. I'm hitting 8 minutes. I don't hate it, but I'm not sitting there ready to throw $200 at it at all. I'm thinking about getting a wife anyway at SP because she's wanting to get into the old Game Boy games, Game Boy Advance. I'm just going to go out there and find a really nice SP that has a good screen on it for $100 or less. Get it for her, make sure it charges right, hand it to her, and we'll start getting her some Game Boy games. And Game Boy Advance games. She likes to replay the Pokemon games. You don't need a $200 FPGA system to do that. I get it. I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it where for collectors to have the real, the real stuff like back there. But I think it's price gouging a little bit. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Again, I'm not hating on this, but seriously, I'm not sure how I feel about it. What do you think? Overpriced? Full of shit? No. Analogue's a good company. They're going to bring this thing out. I know they are, but I don't know if it's either worth it. Let me know what you think. All right, PKO Gamer, out.